everybody, and welcome back to a Spooky and Tell podcast. My name is Kylie.
My name is Tawny.
Today, we will be telling you our spooky stories. Now, if you haven't listened to us, today is our second episode. We basically are just two girls who like spooky stuff. And every week, when it's just the two of us, we find a topic that interests us. It's always got a little bit of a spooky vibe to it, and then we kind of take turns telling each other the story. We dive deep into it and dissect it, talk about it. Sometimes, we'll get a little off topic, but here or there, we'll always find our way back home. So, today, I will be starting.
Okay, great.
And Tawny, what do you know about online dating?
Just calling me out. I don't know a thing. I believe in courting, someone.
Our
and
friendship
I'm just
will
kidding.
say different.
There are quite a bit of cons. There's some upsides, like the awesome experiences, the stories that you have to tell.
Yeah.
It's something, that's for sure.
I've never been able to, get into the online dating aspect. The one Tinder hookup I had, shout out if you're listening, was the worst experience I've ever had in my entire life. I'm not going to lie about that either. I ghosted him because I didn't really think that there was a nicer way for me to say, hey, you gave me the ick, and I'm really not into you anymore. Dude was the hottest guy in the world to me at the time. And I had only talked to him through Tinder. Oh my god, I've never really talked about this before, so I'm getting all red. Yeah. I hope he's not listening, but if you are, sorry. At least, I'm not outing you, so nobody will ever know who you are, but... Okay, I shouldn't say that.
There you have it.
I definitely have had girl talk about you, but that's neither here nor there.
So Tinder, good experience.
Yeah, that was definitely a Tinder horror story. Cole, what would you like to have a little input from our little producer here?
My current relationship is Tinder story.
See, okay, don't get me wrong, there are pros. My cousin, she is in probably one of the happiest marriages I've ever seen, and they met online. I can't remember what the website was. I want to say it was Plenty of Fish, but I don't remember. But she met her husband on there. They didn't get...
That's good, because out of all the dating apps, okay.
Their family is cute, and I love them.
They're cute.
And that's another story that worked out, so...
That's good. Out of all the
It's
dating
just not
apps that
for
I
me.
ever had... No, that's fair. Out of all the dating apps I ever had, I'd say Plenty of Fish was, the creepiest one I had, because it's I'd go on there, and the same people would have the same, profile picture from years ago when I first got it, and I reinstall it or whatever, and they'll message you and say hi, and if you don't respond, then they just bombard you with all of these messages why won't you talk to me? What is wrong with you? What did I do? And I'm I don't know. No, but on Plenty of Fish, it was just, it attracted a lot of creepy people. I don't know what it is, but it just freaked me out.
I hate to say it, girlfriend. Are you sure it wasn't you? Because you've told me, I love you. No. I'm not saying this in any way. For some reason, Tawny is the most wonderful person in the world I have ever met in my entire life, but she attracts the weirdest guys. And she literally could have the hottest dude if she wanted him, but they don't live here. The hottest men in the world are not here for some reason. Well, they're all taken, unfortunately.
It's all gravy in the gravy boat. Like I said,
They're
I have
all
some of the
weirdos. I
best
hate
stories,
them.
and
Your stories are great.
yeah, they're the most funny stories that I have, and I'm who would I be without these stories to tell? Not me at all. But no, dating apps can there have been some pros. When I first downloaded a dating app, I was 18, and it was OkCupid because it was free. It was it was so funny because I was still trying to get familiar with the area. I moved back from Illinois, only knew my family, had only a certain amount of friends, and it was just two of my best friends that I'm still best friends with to this day. But it was like I just craved some sort of interaction. I was super socially awkward. And there was this guy that I talked to, and he lived in Nashville. And we just had like this really good friendship. Still hope the best, like nothing but the best for this guy. But he helped me through a lot. And given we were never officially together and I never met him, there was still some kind of pros there. And then there were also those cons where conversation was flowing on the app. You think it was going to go somewhere, and then you meet them in person, and it's just like, it's not just being anxious and nervous. It's like you're meeting a completely different person. And some of the stuff that they would say to me on a first date, I'm like, do you hear yourself? Like, I'm kind of scared, but I'm just going to roll with it. But yeah, no, you never know what to expect. I wouldn't say that it's just like all bad. It just depends on the person, I guess.
I mean, we've got proof in front of us that it works out.
But I feel like in this day and age, everyone's so busy with their like day-to-day jobs that, you know, by the time they're able to go out, it's the bar scene, or it's like, you know, you got a lot of stuff going on in your free time, so you don't really get to go out and mingle, or you're seeing the same people that you've already dated or that you know, or that you're just friends with. So I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of cons, but there are also a lot of pros too. So I guess, I don't know. Like I said, a lot of funny experiences and stories.
Yeah, I don't know, that I tried it that one time and it was just ruined for me forever. So I do give props.
We've all been there.
To you.
Thank you. I'm still
You're
going.
one of the strongest individuals
I'm still going.
Strongest individuals I know.
I don't know if I shared this or not, but I had Devin message me a TikTok, and she texted me and she called me, and she goes, "This guy made a TikTok about you off Tinder." And I said, "No way." She's like, "I'm pretty sure this is you." Sure enough, on the TikTok, he goes, "All right, I'm back on Tinder. Let's see how this goes." And he showed.
You have the TikTok?
I do, and
okay,
he showed.
Should send it to me.
Yeah,
you can put it in
it's
here.
so great. He showed like the backdrop of like a message he sent me, and it shows my picture up there. And he's like, "Well, you know, it's been a month since I've messaged her, so I guess we'll just see, you know, I'm still hoping she's going to message me back, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "That's me." So I commented on the video, and he was just like, "Oh, it was a slow burn. I knew you were going to come back to me." And then I said, "Funny enough, I went back and I didn't see your message there anymore." But then it was just like for him to get views or whatever. But it was still super funny. But some of the messages you get on there, you just don't know how to respond because they're very thought out and clever. And I'm not clever. So I just can't.
Find that TikTok.
Okay,
I need to see
I'll
it.
find the TikTok. It's fantastic.
For some people, what we're talking about today, it's not so easy to just kind of get out of these situations that people have put themselves in. You are the worst at texting me your location when all I just want to know is that you were safe. Because
I just like to wing it, you know. I like to live life on the
edge. I hate
edge.
it so much because I lived in a household. My grandparents, we've talked about this before, pretty sure. I couldn't do anything in my childhood because my grandparents were like, "Oh, you're gonna get kidnapped." Like, couldn't go anywhere by myself. I think one time the farthest I got from my house by myself, I was riding my bike down the street. Ate shit down the street with my cousin. So she rode her bike all the way home. Grandma picked me up in the car, and I was not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, no, I was pretty sheltered too.
You do not send me your location, and in my head, I'm like, my grandparents are like, "She's being kidnapped, she's being stabbed," and then you'll text me in the morning and be like,
"I'm in Oklahoma.
I'm here. I'm at work," and I'm like, "Thanks for the stress."
Yeah.
That's all I wanted was just your location and know you were fine.
You know, I'm just rolling with it, and even if it's uncomfortable, I'm like, "Here we go. We got another story."
Let me see this.
Here it
we're
is.
gonna put this in too while we're watching it, kind of thing.
And I'm doing really well on it, so I thought I'd give you all some dating advice. My first match was with a girl named Tawny here. Rule number one, always incorporate their name into the first message you send. So I sent her, I said, "Tawny oil increases your endurance in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt," which is true, actually. I had to look it up to make sure.
This is you?
Yeah,
He's talking to
that's
you.
my picture. Yeah.
But Geralt
just
does
can't
get an
see it 'cause
endurance
my phone
boost when he's using Tawny oil in The Witcher 3. I sent that on August 24th now. So we're coming up on a month and she hasn't responded, but you know, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm feeling well. This is one of those sort of slow burn type things, so I'll keep you guys posted on when she responds.
And so I commented on it, and it was so funny because Devin, tagged me in it. And so I was like, I'm the worst. Hey there. Nice to meet you, Jack. And he's like, oh, whoa, it is you. Like I said, it was a slow burn is all. Only a matter of time till you got back to me. I said, I actually went back to find your message and did not see it. Yes, just a matter of time. Love the message in the post. And so all these people were just like commenting things like, oh, you're two, or he was like, somebody said happy 1 month match anniversary. And he goes, I'm excited for our 2 month. And so people were just like going with it. And it was so great. It has 11,000 likes.
Send that to me right now. Send that
so
to me
great.
right now. I need that. Okay, we're going to put, you guys will watch this with us, I'm sure. And this is probably.
I was very flattered. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty great.
That's amazing. That's amazing. No.
Yeah, it was so funny. I don't know why, but it made me anxious whenever she was like, I'm pretty sure it was your Tinder and he posted your messages. Nothing bad. And I was like, messages. I was like, did I say something weird? And he's just like posting it on there. Like I was freaking out. I had so much anxiety because given I have crazy stories, but I'm also awkward. I also say weird things and act weird. So it was,
I was waiting for
I was
you
freaking
to say
out.
something,
Yeah.
honestly, 'cause
But like I said, I went back and I was
how in the
like, you were
world
not there.
Would you have like responded to that? What?
I don't know. See,
I don't
like I
know
said,
much
I'm
about
not
that
clever.
game,
I
so-
feel like if I have to put too
just
much
know
thought
that it's
into
a
it,
video
it's just,
game.
it's not going to be good.
Okay, anyway, so that I feel like is kind of a
Concludes
prime
our
example.
podcast. Just dragging me through the mud. It's fine.
See ya. I think that's kind of like a prime example of like how unexpected and like just I don't know how crazy the like online dating can be.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely.
So, we're gonna put in a trigger warning here. This does mention rape, so we're gonna put in a timestamp once we get that figured out. But if you do not want to listen to this story, you can just skip past it. Otherwise, keep listening. So, did you know 50 million people use dating websites, and 1 in 5 relationships start in an online dating site? There's 1 out of 3 in this room. They can also be, it can come with dangers, too. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Bianca Devins story. She was a young girl in, I'm not sure where, I think New York. She lived there. She passed away in 2019 because of this guy she met online. I'm pretty sure she met him online through Instagram, and he killed her and basically posted the pictures of her deceased online and like sent it to her family and stuff. Because he got overly jealous because they went to a concert together and she was kissing somebody else in front of them.
So were they dating
No,
for
they
a
were
little bit?
They were not
No,
monogamous.
it was their first night?
They were not
or-
monogamous. And
Okay.
the family will say that their relationship is not as intimate as like the relationship or the internet makes it seem. Gosh. Or I don't know. So I listened to this story forever ago because I work at a local restaurant called Old Chicago. So this really piqued my interest. There was this thing called Operation Fireball, and I looked more into it. I don't know if anybody's ever listened to like the Crime Junkie podcast. You probably have if you're listening to this, or you've at least heard of it. Mm-hmm. This story really blew up after they did a podcast on it because there was this girl. She was sitting at an Old Chicago in Denver. And basically this guy was trying to, she was supposed to be on a date, a Tinder date. And this guy tried to pick her up basically at the bar because her Tinder date showed, stood her up. And she was advised by waitstaff, like in the bathroom, like, don't go home with this guy. Like, he's bad. And I think ended up, there was like.
So he went there often enough to the point where even the servers were like, don't.
No, it's not just he went there often enough, but like he set up these dates through this Tinder like all the time. But like these things are not what we're talking about today. Sorry, I'm just like kind of giving examples that I'm sure most people have heard of. You know, like online anyway. They're the most popular ones that I'm aware of. I never really hear anything about like. I mean, obviously, you know, you go into online dating with knowing like the possible outcomes. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I know you. I know you use it a lot, and I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything. I
Thank you
just
for
wish-
telling people I use it a lot.
Not a lot, okay, but I know that that's like, we live in a small town. It's hard to meet people. It's understandable. It's like I said, our producer met his girlfriend on there. There's nothing wrong with it.
Well,
But
let me just also add that I met her on there, and her brother-in-law is my best friend.
Look at that.
Oh,
That
crazy.
is how
See,
we
and
started
like,
talking.
see, and
We
like,
technically started talking. We met obviously in person before we started talking.
Yeah.
I've met some of my closest friends on the internet, too. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing, but it can be very scary sometimes. And I was watching this documentary the other day, and it really opened my eyes. And man, if you don't turn your location on to me, we're gonna fight. Like, you and me are gonna fight. I need to know where you are all times just because of this story. So this girl stayed anonymous. I don't really know if I should change her name, her anonymous name, because of the documentary or anything. We can link the documentary in the title or whatever. It's like an A&E documentary. But this girl, I'm going to change her name because it's already anonymous in the documentary, but we'll go with Mary. It's the first name I can think of off the top of my head. If I know a Mary, I do know a Mary. That's just coincidental. I'm not trying to make it seem like you. Sorry. Also, I'm going to say this right now. I'm kind of rambling today. Sorry. Got a little bit of anxiety going through me, so we'll just see where this story goes, I guess. So Mary met this guy, and if you Google it, you'll find this story online. But basically, Mary got onto OkCupid one day. She'd heard about it, through advertisements, and friends had told her to give it a try kind of thing. When she first signed up for it, most dating apps, like looking for relationship apps, will ask a series of questions and have it's like an extensive questionnaire kind of thing. And they'll try to get as much detail as possible so that
know if
they
you're
can
compatible
Yeah,
with
to see if
somebody.
you're compatible and to see, if you're going to be a good match with the person that they pick for you. And so she got a match, and his name was Zach Anderson. She looks through his pictures. He looks like a pretty normal, good-looking guy. And so they made plans to meet up in the middle of the day.
Okay.
She told somebody, I'm not sure if she told somebody. I didn't write that down. So I'm not sure if she told somebody where she was going, but she did drive separately. So I guess I don't know technically, but she took most of the precautions that you should take when you're meeting up with somebody that you don't know, especially when you meet them online. And making plans to meet up in the middle of a day in a public restaurant. How much more, that's
that's pretty safe.
Yeah, you would think. So they have this date. It lasts about 4 to 5 hours or so.
So conversations flowing,
Yeah,
things seem fine.
She's feeling pretty good. She's like, this date is going really well. She gets up one time to go to the bathroom. And she just remembers that drink and then woke up the next morning outside of her doorstep, slumped up against the door. Doesn't know how she got home. She can't find any of her keys. I don't even think it was the morning. I think it was early morning, 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
So she can't find her keys. She's just at her house. She doesn't even know how she got there. I think she had her wallet. Yeah, she had her wallet and her ID and stuff. So she ended up getting a hotel room for the night. And she knows that somebody did something to her when she was asleep. And she messages him. He's the only person, that can give her answers because he's the only person she was with.
Mm-hmm.
And so she messages him and she's like, did we do something? What the fuck happened last night? And he's like, no, we didn't do anything. We just kissed. Wrong. Liar. That's not what happened. I think she ended up going to the police to make a report. And they looked at the surveillance, and sure as shit, she she like she got into his vehicle at one point, and they leave for like an hour or so, and comes back and he drops her off, and she's literally just like wandering around roofied because she has no idea where she is. And the security guard finds her trying to walk up a ramp, and he like gets her a taxi and sends her home, and she like, that's when, you know, she finally comes to and wakes up. And yeah, so then she got an attorney to try and figure something out. Yeah, she tries to get an attorney to figure all of this out. So this attorney calls another woman named Kelly Nagel. I think Kelly did not stay anonymous. I think she wanted to like get her name out there to like bring him down kind of thing, because like he's a fucking monster. Who the fuck like does something like this, like in the middle of the day, takes precautions,
Premeditated,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, and it's just kind of makes me sick to think about. But Kelly, so, I mean, she also met Zach online. I can't remember which dating website she said it was. I don't know if she ever said which one it was, but they went on a date. It seemed fine. Somehow they ended up in his vehicle, and he kissed her. And, you know, she wanted to kiss him because they had a good time on their date, and it ended up turning more aggressive. And she said no, and he raped her in his car. And so she tried to report it. They also met on OkCupid. Never mind, I do have it here. So she tried to report it to OkCupid, and basically they had in their reports, they don't have somebody with the username of this guy. And she's like, well, I'm looking at his profile right now. I don't know what you mean by, like, I can't do anything, or you can't do anything if you can't find him. And they never got back to her anything. So it also makes me, it weirds me out that, like, these websites aren't taking these accusations seriously. You know?
No, for sure. Because they just don't want any involvement in it, and they don't want that to bring, like, bad publicity towards their apps, and then they, like, aren't making money and profiting from it. So that's really shitty. That's really sad. So, like, how did that girl find out about Mary's?
Well, Mary's attorney called her, and because there had been a police report on Zach Anderson in the past.
Okay.
Apparently she tried to report it to the police. This is where the records came in. And the police were like, we can't do anything. He passed a lie detector test. So, like, we can't do anything. And it's like, what the are you serious?
That shows, yeah.
Like, what the actual...
Yep.
Anyway.
A lot of times people know how to, like, actually mess with, like, the system and, like, how to channel and everything.
This is all just what we're saying about these companies also. This is just alleged. This is not actual facts, by the way. I don't want us to get sued by, like, OkCupid or something. That would suck. So this is just alleged. This is just what we think. Like, this is not factual. This is it okay to say that's my opinion? That's my opinion.
Well, it is, like, a true story, but basically just, like...
The story that I'm telling is true, but,
yeah.
like, what we're saying about OkCupid, like, not wanting to deal with it, like, that's...
Yeah.
That's alleged.
For sure.
That's alleged. That's nothing real. So, I'm not getting sued today. Okay. So, and the thing between Kelly and Mary, like, that event, that happened 2.5 years. Like, that was a 2.5 years gap right there. And could you imagine how many
more?
Yeah, how many more girls he did
in
this
between
to?
and after, yeah.
When, like, the authorities could have just stopped him right then and there when they got that first report. So, and Kelly, like, literally knew, like, as soon as the attorney called her and, like, mentioned that name, she was like, oh, who did he hurt now? So, so he obviously became the main suspect, and so Mary's friends tried to look Zach up on Facebook, or not Facebook, but just the internet, and they found a massage trolls account. So basically, I wish I would have wrote this stuff down. Basically, from what I gathered, it's basically like a Craigslist for guys looking to give out massages. And I'm assuming those massages
Or happy
have
ending.
have like a happy ending. That's just my assumption. I don't know. Alleged.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Turns out though, his name was not actually Zach Anderson, but it was Devin Hartman.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, so Devin Hartman actually had multiple lives. That was his real name. I think he used Zach Anderson for most of his aliases though, because he's fucking, I don't know. I feel like these people are so cocky that they don't think that they're going to get caught. Yeah, and then it just happens. And he actually had a wife at home. Can't remember if they had kids or not, but yeah, she had a wife. He had a wife, and she had no idea that any of this was going on at all. I don't know how, I don't know. I just, being in the relationship that I am, I can't imagine my husband going, out every single night.
For hours on end.
Maybe I don't know, or even in the middle of the day,
what kind of
job? Yeah, I mean,
say.
maybe the kind of job he has would make it like that. But at the same time, I don't know, dude. That's just.
And was it all in the same state? Do you know, with between Kelly and Mary? Because if it wasn't, he can say he had business trips or something.
Well, I feel like Kelly and Mary were either in different states or they were in different cities. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. I should have. He also, fun fact, had another young woman convinced that they were engaged and that he was going to marry her. It was an online relationship, but I don't know if they had ever met or not, but he had convinced a girl that they were engaged.
And she didn't know,
she had no
the
idea
history of, what he did
she had no
and
idea
everything.
who he actually was or anything, so... he was also going on... See, he had... I think it said hundreds. Yeah, 100 different women, minimum, probably, that he did this to. Because, 2.5 years is a long time. Yeah. That's, that's a lot. It's a long time to be out and just roaming and, gross. So he gets arrested, and it's, turns out he's a serial rapist. 5 different women come out against him. And I think he has 2 life sentences? Yeah, 2 life sentences, and his trial was only 10 days. So, he's gonna be gone for quite a while. I don't even know if he has, if he's, up for probation or anything anytime soon. I could look it up. But honestly, I really don't care, because I don't think... I would hope the justice system wouldn't let somebody like that out, but you
just never know.
You never know
You
anymore.
never know.
So, but that was my topic. Please send me your location the next time you go anywhere. That's all I ask. Please.
I will keep you posted if I find someone to go on a date with.
And if your mom is watching this, I'm sure she would love to hear that you're sending me your location when you go on dates.
Oh, yeah. No, she'll blow up my phone while I'm on dates, and she'll just be like, what's going on? What are you doing? Where are you? Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great time. And then she'll also lecture me and be like, why do you do this? And I'm like, it's not like I really enjoy it. Going on an app and spending time on there and just trying to connect with someone. Wow, I sound pathetic. Yeah, it's beautiful. But no. Wow, that's crazy. Well, with my story, it's quite different in the aspect. It's more about it's a legend and it's not. So, have you ever watched the originals? The vampire show, the spinoff of Vampire Diaries.
Is that supposed to be where the Vampire Diaries originated from?
The originals?
I read the Vampire Diary books, but they changed so much about the books into the show. I just couldn't get into it. I tried. It was too much.
Nope, I get it.
But I've heard of them. I know what you're talking about.
The reason why I bring that up is because if you ever seen the originals, they're based in New Orleans, and so when you think of New Orleans, it's okay, Mardi Gras, and then they have the witch tours and the ghost story tours and everything. Huh? You think of food?
New Orleans has some of the best food.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I don't
But-
know what that means.
30 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
So it's like getting used to this. It's
Oh,
fine.
gosh.
I'm gonna get like a big like whiteboard where I can like
Just like
blend
put it
your
up
handwriting
there and
shit,
be like,
oh,
listen.
your handwriting shit. What does that mean?
Thanks,
No.
homie.
Be like,
I
it
definitely
up.
need that because I was like, yeah, I know what that means, and then I thought about it. And I was like, I don't know what that means.
Have you ever seen Let's Be Cops? Like, you know, whenever he's like trying to be a cop or whatever, and he's like throwing up like the hand signals, and he's like, "What does that mean? What are you? I don't know what that means. Stop it!" And he's just like, "All right, I'm gonna go in." And he's like doing this. It's fucking great. I feel like that's what I would do. I'd be like, I don't know. Anyways,
Anyway, back to the New Orleans.
Yeah, New
food.
Orleans. So no, not the food,
I'm
but
just
I
hungry,
mean,
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be talking about the story of the Singing Rain of Pirates Alley. So, one of the most famous landmarks in New Orleans, French Quarter, is the St. Louis Cathedral and is the oldest cathedral in the United States. So it faces Jackson Square and it features a strikingly like Dracula-esque statue of Jesus. That would freak me out. Like people think that's like majestic and beautiful. Not majestic, but you know, it would freak me out. And like at nighttime, the shadow of it scare me.
How big are we talking?
It's big. I'll have to insert a picture and like show you. But anyways, so it faces Jackson Square, and anyways, the alley runs next to it. The alley that runs next to it is known as Pirates Alley. So it is also home to one of the most famous ghostly phenomena in all of New Orleans. So for some background history with that, Louisiana was a French colony from 1718 until 1763, when the French ceded the territory to Spain as part of the Treaty of Paris following the 7 Years of War. So it sounds like I'm giving you a history lesson, but I'm just giving around some background information, and we'll get to the nitty-gritty. To say the least, the French colonists of New Orleans were not too happy at this state of affairs, so a rebellion came into play, led by French colonists and put down by an Irish loyal to Spain known as Bloody O'Reilly. He had the rebel leaders publicly executed on the street, still known today as Frenchman Street, which is now a popular spot for music. How entertaining to, play music where people were publicly executed. Anyways, yeah, beautiful.
It's like the Disneyland story.
Yeah, it's great. Can really feel the music there, so good stuff.
It's a small world.
So all of that information is factual. However, the legend that comes into play says that the bodies of these Frenchmen that were executed were hung out to rot by the cathedral, and the priest, Pierre, I'm going to pronounce it, I'm going to butcher it.
It's like
so
Catholicism?
It's Pierre Dagobert, but I can't read my handwriting anyway, so
Okay,
we'll get there. He was
What
so
church is this?
this
The Catholic
was
church?
yep, and so
just
the
proves
priest
every
was
day why
not
it's
allowed
horrible.
to bury them until the Spanish guards took shelter because they just were not used to the hurricanes and the weather that was going on, I guess. So he was able to then transport the bodies of the dead to St. Louis Cemetery. And the legend says that even today when it rains, you can hear the priest singing the Kylie down Pirates Alley. So I looked up some reviews of just like in Pirates Alley, when people go on tours and whatnot, like their experiences. And a lot of people said, even locals, not even just people passing through, that through the alleyway, they would see like the ghost. They would see the priest walking down the alleyway, and like there would be times where they could hear singing, but it would be at night, so it wouldn't be just broad daylight. And so I'm thinking, is this a hoax, like just to scare people, or like could you imagine you're just like New Orleans, you're just like walking through this alley and you just hear singing,
Just vibing.
yeah.
Just vibing.
For some reason, it reminded me of Jeepers Creepers, like, when they just, like, take their, I don't know, body and put it on display, like, I don't freaking know. So, I don't know why, it just reminded me of that suddenly. But, no, that's crazy. Yeah. Great stuff.
I bet the smell was
I bet the smell was
atrocious.
horrible. And the fact that the priest had to, like transport their bodies, but they had to wait, and so their bodies were just sitting out there rotting
Gross.
in front of this strikingly Dracula-esque statue of Jesus. So, yeah, I found that information online. I believe it was grunge.com, but I don't know how accurate it is, but no, that's crazy. I always thought pirates were pretty cool. Like pirate stories and
Shiver me
pirate
timbers.
movies. I just thought they were
Isn't
really
it funny how like we made that reference to the Disneyland story, and I'm pretty sure the ride. What was the ride? Oh no, just kidding. I'm thinking of something else. The ride that I'm
Are you thinking of Pirates Boat
I'm
or whatever,
thinking of
where they
Pirates
just
of the
like?
Caribbean, but like that's
Oh.
not. It's not the same.
I'm not
ride.
even
I can't
thinking
remember
Disneyland. I have never
can't
been
remember
there.
what ride it was. I think it was a pirate ride though, but no, that Disneyland story that I was thinking of is this lady like put her cremated son's ashes on the sand or something. So, yeah.
I want him
can
to
you-
really enjoy his time
Mhm.
here, you know,
Yeah.
in the afterlife and whatnot. But yeah, no, could you imagine though, just like living in that area, like, because you hear a lot of like legends and stuff and stories and that's how they attract people to go on those like tours. But I feel like so much stuff has happened there that you have to experience it at some point, you know?
New Orleans, like, I feel like anything on the. Well, I'm sure there's some haunted shit here because of, you know, people stealing land and stuff from where we are from. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But I feel like the history from, like, the east side of the country. Had to do that. Never eat sake waffles in my head because I couldn't think about it. On the east side of the country, that's like where the settlers started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like one of my dreams is to like go to like Boston or just like see the really old graveyards and like see the really old buildings there because like they're still built like the like almost Victorian style buildings, like from like when they were still not ruled, but still like controlled by Britain and stuff.
Yeah.
Before the revolution and all that jazz.
All that jazzy talk. No, I don't know. Like I would freak out. I would leave. Like it would be kind of cool, but I would freak out if I'm just walking through an alleyway and I just see like a priest. And it's like, does he look like an actual person or does it look like, you know, I don't know. I'm waiting for some like fog. You just see the priest in its priest uniform. I don't know what
His
they
eyes are
call
glowing
it.
in
Yeah.
the dark.
Like
Coming for you.
Yeah, is he just looking at you and singing? Like, I don't know.
Revert to Catholicism or you're doomed.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No,
That's
thank
what I
you.
want to know. And people are like, I seen it or I heard it. Like,
What did you see? Was he wearing a pirate's hat?
Yeah.
Is that why they call it Pirate Alley? I don't know.
Yeah, it confuses me because I just want to know. Like, I want to know what you saw. Like, I want to see through your eyes. Did it look like an actual person or did it just seem like a figure? I don't know.
Maybe we should do a vlog. Just go on a trip down to New Orleans. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry.
I think it would be a great time.
Just take a trip down there and visit this pirate alley and see for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Spooky.
Just as long as we don't bring anything back with us. I'm
I
good
s-
with that.
I hope not.
That's always my That's always what like I get chickened out of going into like abandoned or like haunted places. I'm like, what if it follows me home
Yeah,
Why?
well, and I'm paranoid. I feel like even if it didn't, if I just heard, you know, like the AC turn on or something, I'd be in the other room. I'd be like, oh, something is here. Something is following me. Like The Grudge. Have you ever seen The Grudge movie? I watch it now and I laugh, but I have to watch it during the daytime because I notice that at night, if I watch it or I like go to bed, any little sound I hear, I'm like, those kids are here. Those kids are freaking watching me. And I get so paranoid and in my head, and I'm like, this is not scary, but I get scared.
I've heard that the Japanese version of those movies are fucking terrifying. I don't know. I would believe that because the Japanese are a superior race, and I'm not saying that because I am. I'm hardly, but they really are, and they take no shit. They're kind of terrifying in that way. Like my grandma, She is like the smartest person I know. A little outdated. Like I don't think they're gonna watch this at all whatsoever because I don't think they'd know how to like get to the link or whatever. But terrifying woman. I will never, ever, ever, ever get on her bad side. Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Fingers and toes are crossed that we don't get to that
Yeah.
point and have a story for the next podcast.
Yeah, right. So, well, yeah, no, it's weird, like, thinking about that kind of stuff, too. Like, I mean, I've always wanted to stay in that room with Alex Johnson, but it's always booked, for one. I did know somebody that was... What are you looking at me like that for?
I got some fucking stories about the Alex Johnson. I went there as a bellhop for one summer. I got some fucking shit to tell you.
Oh man.
Well, you know, we'll save that for... We're going to do we've been in the works talking about this, and we're recording this before this episode, but we'll probably premiere this episode. Beers and Bats is going to be a special with our Big Brother podcast. Our producer, Cole, he has his own podcast called Beers and Bullshit, where they talk about man stuff.
Good shit.
Man stuff. They talk about like sports. They talk about, I don't really know what else, honestly. I'm sorry. I've watched your podcast. I have, but it's hard for me to retain because it's like Spanish to me sometimes.
No, you're good.
It's
It's a mixture of sports shit, nerd shit. I don't know. We
Yeah.
kind of bounce all over the place.
yeah,
There you go.
and it's not like my
So
kind
those
of
are the
nerd
best
shit that's like
kind, though.
anime and shit. Like it's
I believe it's called an open forum podcast, as we've been classified as.
I like it.
open
okay.
forum.
I don't know. I just think man stuff.
Mom's
Man,
chest
yeah,
hair.
Yeah, it's called
But-
Beers and Bullshit. And our t-shirts do say for the boys on it. So.
There you go.
So exactly. So we are thinking about doing a Beers and Bats episode, which, like I said, it'll probably be already premiered by now if we do one, most likely. But that is probably where we are going to talk about the Alex Johnson stuff because I've never had a story there, but apparently
I've not
Cole
either.
has. So I will probably, do my own research, find something juicy, maybe. I don't know. Or I'll just, have the story of, like, how I came to be there. and
Well,
then
I
Cole
know
can
I
tell
have
his
a
shit.
few close friends that actually work at the Alex Johnson, and they have stories too. So I'll have to.
Oh, see, everybody has a
Get
story
that.
but me. Cool. I'm lame.
Oh, I haven't gone there, so I don't know.
Should we do it?
Why
we
not?
Can, we can record our experience there. Ugh, that's scary. Not gonna lie, thinking about
scary.
it. Like, should we buy ghost stuff?
Ghost stuff.
Not like a Ouija board, but
Oh
like,
hell no!
but like,
It's no, I won't get that. But I know what you
I
mean.
don't know, like,
Like the lighting.
yeah,
things.
yep, yeah, exactly, yeah. We'll talk about it. It might come into the future.
We'll
it might
do
come
some
into
research.
play.
We'll
We'll do
see.
some stuff. But anyway, be on the lookout. I guess if you haven't watched that episode by now, go check it out. It's Beers and Bats, and it's with Cole and is
Jace.
Jace doing it? Okay, and Jace as well. Do we have anything else to plug, really? Do you have anything to plug? I don't really have anything to plug.
Nope. I'd say that would be.
We do have
What I
our
got?
sponsor, Mike Pyle of American Family Insurance. If you
Oh.
Feel free to
American Family Insurance.
We're sponsored.
sponsor Fishing Elephant Media.
Oh, okay.
You
So I
just gotta-
guess
you gotta sing it.
I guess. Sing what?
You gotta sing the business.
We are sponsored. I'm not doing that. No, so
Oh,
apparently
where's the
I
hand?
did not know this until just now, but the production that we are under is called Fishing Elephant, and we are sponsored by Mike Pyle from American Family Insurance. If anybody else wants to sponsor us, let us know.
Tyson chicken strips would be great.
I've been going after the Cosmic Brownies once since day one, so.
I don't know, I don't vibe with them anymore. Cosmic Brownies have changed their taste. But anyway, that's besides the point. Tune in next week. We don't have those stories picked out yet, so you'll just have to, I guess, check us out to
Wait
see what
and
we talk
see.
about. So until next time, I am Kylie,
And I am Tawny.
and this is the Spooky Intel Podcast.